Some came to my attention today, and if y'all are like familiar to TikTok, yeah, it's a very common thing out there nowadays. You know, I'm kind of like on a love-hate relationship with TikTok, and it is very, very common. But I was listening to one clip, and if y'all understand like how the sounds go and everything, and how the music is, you either imitate and you can put music to that background, and you're like either wording a song or doing something to relate to a song, or they have like talks and people just mouth words. But I was listening to one, and it was like, and it was something I could relate to. And if you don't understand that, and don't understand my life and how, I progressed throughout the years, I've grown in the military, I've gotten better in life, and there's still things that I have to work on. I was an alcoholic for, a long, long time, and when I went through rehab and everything, it was like a sign of God that, got me back straight. But that's off topic. But what I'm getting at is, the TikTok clip was saying only sad people, when they try to make people happy, and if that person is sad and mad that they're making happy, they end up making things worse. And I'm gonna say, to the honest fact, that's not true, and then some of it is. But if you're sad, and this is coming from me, if you're sad and you cannot make somebody happy or make somebody change and like see things positively, then you need to evaluate your life. And what I mean by evaluating it, it's like, see, what can you do differently? What can you do better? What can you do like to make your life, good? And what I'm saying is, worry about you before you try to make somebody else happy. To the bottom of my heart, sadness will tear you down and bring you down. I've lost my parents. I've dealt through hard relationships. I've dealt through my parents' divorce, and there's a lot that goes on that I can explain. But my life wasn't all that bad. My life, my parents loved me. There's some of their methods you could question about and everything, and my family loved me. I did have people that loved me, and some of it was my fault, or probably all of it was my fault. But sometimes you need to reevaluate your life. And I noticed this from yesterday, and like a lot in my life when things constantly happen. You need to reevaluate your life and like understand that if you're still going through a hard time, it doesn't hurt to have somebody in your life. But don't go changing their lifestyle or changing their sadness before you change yours. The best thing you could do for that person, the best thing you could do is be there for them. I'm not saying that your advice doesn't count. And it does to a heart, and it does to a T. I'm not saying that, everything in life is like, you're not helping it, because you do. But if you're sad and you're going through a long depression, instead of giving somebody help, ask for the help. And for the people that see other people sad, people that see that someone's been through a lot, put your arms around them and help them out. Like, out of honesty, the best thing you could ever do to help somebody else out is be there for them. Tell them they got your love and support. Tell them that you love them, you care about them, and you cherish them. Do not try to put yourself into their shoes right off the bat if you're going through something. Because the worst thing that may happen is you may end up saying something that may hurt them. So the best thing you can ever do is just, and like I said, the best thing you can ever do is just be there for them. That's the one thing that I've noticed that I struggle with. And I mean, yeah, I love helping people. I love caring about them. I love being in their lives, you know. But in order for you to help somebody else out, you need to reevaluate your life and make sure you fix whatever it is going on through your life. Don't be like, yeah, I'm going through that right now, or yeah, I've been through that, yeah. And if you're still struggling with it, fix yourself. Because one day a spouse is going to come in your life, your kid's going to come in your life, or anything's going to come in your life. And when you got yourself fully cured, and you're like, I'm going to stand on my 2 feet, and I'm going to give it to God, I'm going to give it to whatever you may see fit, and I'm going to push through this. I'm not trying to push religion on y'all, but you know, if y'all want to ask me about any of that, you know, go ahead. But I'm just saying, like, give it, in my person, in my, you know, my truth and everything, give it to God. Give it to, and sit back and listen to yourself. When I went through therapy, counseling, and everything, the one thing that I've noticed that would help me reevaluate my sadness, I would get a journal or get something. And I wrote poetry before and everything, and I wrote, you know, a lot of things. And sometimes in the poetry, it would tell me, you know, every time I write poetry, it tells you how I truly feel. I wrote a poem one time about, you know, how great it'd be able to get into heaven. I wrote love poems before, you know, and trust me, they were real quick. Real quick. But the best thing you could ever do for somebody is fix yourself before you fix them. Because just reevaluate yourself. I'm not trying to harden anybody. I'm trying to help someone. I mean, I've tried to do it a lot. And I mean, if I have inspired your lives, if I have been a difference, I just want you to know that I do it out of heart and love. But, you know, I'm still working on myself, and I do realize the struggles I go through, the things that I've done and everything. And the one thing that I will tell you that puts me through a lot of love and everything is the one, you know, first off, God. I mean, I've been raised in the church ever since, and I mean, every hardship I went through and everything, I always given it to God. I always gave it to God, and I always told Him, hey, you know, I'm struggling. I'm struggling, and there was sometimes I fell short of God and everything, and the Bible speaks of, everybody falls short in the glory of God. I mean, if you look at David in the Bible and everything, there's plenty of times he fell short of God. And what's really inspiring about David, and like I tell people this all the time, is there's that last bit of David's life where he's talking to God and asking God, why get, because if you know David, he's given a title, man after God's own heart. And God, he asked God, why do I deserve this and everything? And God said, reassures him that throughout his struggles and everything, he always looked towards him, and God saw good in David. God saw how his future came, because David lost a kid. I mean, he honestly lost a kid, and that struck him. That struck him bad. And I mean, David sinned plenty of times, and I mean, he came back, God forgive him. But the thing is, David went through trials. And you know what? He fixed himself. And if somebody like that could fix themselves before they help other people, then your life will be 10 times better. I mean, if you want to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist or whatever you call it, a therapist or counselor or something, try counseling yourself before you counsel others. Try giving yourself therapy before you give others therapy. Or go to somebody that will give you therapy. Because, people don't realize this. The freest therapy of all, and this is one thing I've learned through my military career, the freest therapy of all is your preacher at church. Your preacher at church is your one free therapist, because they are actually trained in that. In the military, ours is our chaplain. And by law, he's not allowed to say anything to anybody about our personal business. That's the thing. But he gives us advice. I spoke to preachers. I've spoke to therapists, and I've slacked on it. But, I have gone to therapy. Even when I'm on my goodest days, I still talk to a therapist. And the same thing for couples and everything. Even if you're going through the worst times of your lives or the best times of your lives, it doesn't hurt to go to therapy all your life. Because if you're struggling financially, if you're struggling mentally or any way, if you feel like karma is hitting you every day, maybe you need to fix your own sadness. Maybe you need to fix your problems yourself. I mean, I'm not saying do it alone. Tell somebody you need help. Tell somebody you need help. If you don't tell them, nobody's going to know. And people that don't tell them, that don't get told that, and you're good friends with them, you need to ask them every day. And this is something that they tell us in the military. You need to ask them every day how their day's going. Keep on talking to them. Keep on being there for them. Because eventually they'll get comfortable and talk to you. And I mean, hang out with them. Everything. If you see they're struggling in their family, set them to the side and ask them, hey man, hey girl, or whatever you call them, you need help. Is there anything I could do to help you? Because I know I know that you're struggling, and I could help you if you need it. I could be there, you're opening ears and everything. Because just being a listener when they're talking and everything, they figure out their issues themselves, and that's another thing I've learned through therapy and like through rehab and everything. If you just sitting in four walls, and you could be, you could think this is stupid, but sitting on around four walls, five walls, how many walls y'all have in y'all's house and everything, in your room. I mean, yeah, no lie, your room could be a hexagon, I don't know. But if you sit in your room and you just talk, talk to your dog, just talk, you could figure out what the problem is. You could figure out your issues. You could figure out whatever's going on. Because the worst thing you could do on fixing somebody else's problems while you're down is letting your problems get the best of you and you saying things that could hurt someone. Mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever it is. The best thing that I ever did, even when I went through problems, is I always gave it to God. And God led me down the right path. Even when I fell short and I did not give Him a chance, He gave me so many chances. That's the one thing that God does. He gives so many chances. There's no one chance, two chance, or anything. You get like infinity chances. And the only time it's too late is when you die and you didn't do anything to fix your life. And I would tell you, I'm not trying to hack on anybody's religious beliefs, I promise you. I'm trying to do something different in life. I want to get on here and try to motivate people, for somebody to be in the service and everything, and somebody to love, cherish people. I know some people would say I'm not the best role model in the world, but I do try my best to love, and I do try my best to take care. And sometimes, if you feel like things are getting out of hand and you feel like you're about to say something, and you've gone through stuff too, or you just feel like you're getting mad and everything, even if that other person doesn't like it, just tell them, hey, I'm gonna go sit over here, I'm gonna do this, and I have to leave y'all's phones at the table or whatever so nobody thinks it's suspicious, and reevaluate yourself. I realize that a lot of times there's some things I fail to do, and I'm not trying to be a hypocrite about it, but your love for God, if you do follow Him, will help you a long way. And I tell you, like I said, I'm not trying to push religious beliefs on y'all, but maybe if y'all see how much God has impacted my life, then it'll help change y'all too. But going through life, facing your struggles, facing your hardships, and if you need help, facing them together with someone, tell them. That's one thing that's one problem, an issue I have. I want to tackle everything all by myself. And I feel like, I gotta stop doing that. And if you're doing it, even for you men and women that have spouses or have girlfriends, boyfriends, you name it, talk to them. And if they're not being a good listener, if they're not helping you out, then drop them. Drop them. And but talk to them, because that is what your loved one's for. And if they cannot, if you feel like privacy is an issue, go talk to a therapist or talk to somebody you trust. the one thing that I could say is fix yourself before you fix others. That's the one thing. And maybe I'll start doing these videos more often, because there's one thing, I need to go and talk about, help other people. I do. And maybe what I'm saying is, y'all could give me advice. Give me the best advice you can. Either if it's through scripture, if it's through, hey buddy, I got your back, need anything. Because I got y'all's backs. You got mine. We're going to kick this one in the rear and drive on. That's what the military teaches me. Drive on. Drive on to that last bit. Keep on driving it if you feel like it's hurting. Keep on driving if you feel like, if something's still bringing you down, you drive on until God said there's no more. Drive on. Because we all need to be ready for heaven one day. We all need to be ready to fight battles alongside with each other. Because, in my sense, the devil comes in many forms. It really does. He really does. And I will tell you, like, when I went through alcohol rehab and everything, it was the best thing that I ever did to save my life. To save my life, because I was drinking my depression away. I was drinking my depression away and not getting help. And if it wasn't me to have common sense and be like, hey, I need to get help, I would not have done it. Because that's literally what I did. I mean, I hurt loved ones. I hurt a loved one. And that was a long time ago. And if people want to use that against me, use it against me. But I made myself right with that person. Yeah, we don't talk anymore, but I made myself right with it. I just sought my forgiveness. I got myself help. And I'm going to continue to go through therapy. I'm going to continue to get myself help. If I have to ask, I'll ask. I love y'all guys, and I want to see success in y'all. Even if it is, I do want to see y'all go to heaven. But also, most of all, I just want to see success. I want to see people, like, getting your head out of the gutter, getting your head out of whatever you got in, and get yourself get your life right. In my sense, I would love to see you get your life right with God. But if you feel you can't and you need help, talk to somebody. That's all I have to say. Thank you.